get to shooting. Alright guys, we're going to start out shooting 5 cents. And wow, look at that. We hit the frenzy right off the bat. We normally don't come that fast. Times 729 for $36.45. That is a good start. If you notice there, I'm purchasing some coins there. I usually like to keep my coin in kind of low, so if I decide to cash out on the game, then I got all my profits down at the bottom, and I don't worry about losing any more than I want to lose. But I do a lot of switching over from missiles to lasers. Usually I shoot those missiles at like the smaller fish just to see if anything is dying. If you notice you're shooting a lot of missiles and even the small fish, are not dying, then you are pretty much on a tight table. There is one screen I'm going to show you guys here later on to kind of show. I kind of noticed, all right, we hit the mermaid there. Let's see if we got a good mermaid with the multiplier. Well, it's ×2. So if we keep going, no, just stop at ×2. ×2, $17.45. That's a pretty good hit on a 5-cent shot. And now, look at that, back to back. We got the Darkness Monster when it came through. This one here, we wanted to actually try to multiply up to 5. Still kind of pays pretty good. But if you notice, I am still shooting at the Monster Frenzy in the back. You want that multiplier to keep going up. That is the only fish on this game that I shoot from one end of the screen to the other end of the screen. And basically it's because you already know how much it's going to pay out whenever it comes off. But a lot of the other fish, like the Darkness Monster, the Mermaid, the Thunder Dragon, all of those, I usually try to shoot it when it first come out or shoot it at the end. That's when you typically will get it to pop. So that way you're not wasting so much money trying to load it up. All right, now, all right, we hit that Monster Frenzy again. My mom called it the happy guy. He looked like he's kind of happy right now for ×581. That was a $29 hit. So we started out with, like $102. So we're up to $160 right now. So that's a pretty good start already. Here on this bonus screen, I just pretty much kind of tap a lot of stuff. You can switch over to missiles and hit some of those small fish. Maybe add up 10, 15, 25 cents. That monster, see if it'll go through right here. When you get that open shot, this thing right here, I hate that they even added that. All right, so the Phoenix, usually I shoot the Phoenix from the beginning. When you get to the middle, I usually come off of shooting and then try to shoot at it on the end. All right, so we're at ×400 on the Frenzy, but still not popping. So now switch over to the Frenzy. We got a couple of loose missiles that came out for $1.25. Now we hit the Phoenix. Great. Now that you notice that Phoenix hit at the end of the screen. All right. So whenever we get to this bonus screen, you want to see how it's adding up. See how your money is adding up real fast off the small hits. Notice we're still shooting at the Frenzy in the background. So remember that. Keep trying to get that money to add up. But that money is adding. So that Phoenix, this is a pretty good Phoenix. What is that? A little bit over ×16 of our bets, ×600 of our bet. So that was a good Phoenix there. All right, we're gonna add a little bit and keep shooting. Now that Smash Hammer, just kind of like to go in and out on the Smash Hammer, see if we can get it to go. Same thing with the Dragon. I shot at it a little bit longer than I normally shoot at it there. Want to try to hit the tail. So Frenzy's coming out. Then we'll switch over to that Dragon at the end and then go right back over to the Frenzy, see if we can get it to pop. Now notice here, I should switch back over to the Dragon and then back over to the Frenzy. Normally when you're doing the back and forth, if you got a loose table, see we caught that Dragon as soon as it came out. Reason why I don't like to waste a lot in that Dragon is this reason here. That multiplier, man, ×1, $5.75. We probably spent more into that Dragon, so that's why we don't like to try to load up that Dragon just to get a ×5 or $10, and you put $20, $25 into them. All right, so we're going to be switching back and forth here and switching over to the Mermaid and back to the Frenzies. Catch that Mermaid at the end and see if we can get one of them to pop. Normally when you're going back and forth, switching from missiles to lasers, you get some stuff to pop. Now, as far as the whale, I really don't like shooting at the whale. It pays pretty good, but to me it seems like on this stage, all right, we got the Mermaid to go here, and it's just a regular Mermaid. See if it'll keep going up. 10, Right here, shoot at the octopus when they come out. Just load up a bunch of just loose missiles to see if you can hit that octopus. We made $15 on that mermaid. Pretty good hit off a $5 bet. So here, I really don't like to shoot at the octopus. I'll probably switch like back and forth, put a couple of bullets into him, a couple of missiles, see if it goes. But I won't load a lot of money into the octopus. My big money makers is that frenzy, light shoot on the dragon, and also light shooting on the phoenix, and that mermaid just tapping it at the end. That's how I've noticed you can really make your money add up. So at times 718 and counting on the frenzy, so it's about time for it to go. Sometimes I switch over when we get up to that times 700 to times 1,000. Switch over to maybe 10 cent, maybe 15 cent, 20 cent, not too high though. And you know, that way you switch over to 10 cent, that's a good $73 pop on that. But also you got to remember, if it doesn't go, you're going to be losing a lot more money. Now you see I did switch over to 10 cent, so that's because we got that times up, and we shoot a few loose missiles. We might shoot a couple of things at the bomb. No, we didn't shoot it there. All right, so now we got the frenzy coming out, shooting it on 10 cents. We just added $60 to do some shooting on that, so we're really going after that times 75 right now. All right, came through the screen once, nothing there, so it should be close to going off. Now, don't always think just because it's times 700. Look at there, got it right at the beginning. Now, notice, you know, you want to always keep it on auto right here, and that way, if you hit it at the beginning, and now if it comes back out just as soon as it start paying you, about 9 times out of 10, it's going to pop again and pay you that other $30 or $15 or whatever it is, times whatever it is you bet. All right, so we got it to go again. We switch back down to 5 cents. A lot of people ask me, hey, why do you switch back down when you hit big? It's like these machines are set to pay out, but it's set for the game, the people who are running these things to make 30 to 40%. So just because you hit it on 10 cent doesn't always mean it's going to go 20 cent or 50 cent, maybe 5 cent, maybe 10 cent, maybe 15 cent is the number that it's going to hit on. And when you start making those big bets, man, it's going to eat your money up like fast. So we had loaded that up with $60. We're down to a little bit over $33. Still shooting 5 cents. See if we can get it to pop. We're up to $194 in our bank. So we're already at a profit of almost a double up. So we just keep shooting. Here we just kind of switch our shots over to some of the different items that's coming across the screen, and then back over to our money maker. It's going to be that frenzy. So if you notice the whole time you watch this video, there's one thing that I would never ever shoot on, and a lot of times when I hit it, it's by accident, and it's going to be that crab wheel. That crab wheel is just a waste of time, a waste of money, and it hardly ever pays out anything. So I just learned not even to waste my money on that. All right, so we're switching back and forth here, trying to catch that dragon at the end, going back to the frenzy. And just kind of switch back and forth with your missiles and your lasers. You guys, you never know what's going to hit. You know, that frenzy coming right up under your gun. If you switch over to missiles, you're liable just to hit it with that. So, you know, just keep doing a lot of switching out. All right, we're going to let this run just a little bit. Now that mermaid, there we go. All right, see, we got that mermaid at the end when we switched over, and it's going to be a time. So let's see if we can get this one to multiply up. Now we're still shooting at everything in the background, so you know, just because you have this on the screen doesn't mean you can't make money on anything else. That was $15.95, so pretty good little hit there on that mermaid, shooting 5 cents. Now we're up over $200. We're at $210, so great little profit. I mean, a little bit over a $100 profit. I mean, we could stop here, but this seems to be a loose table, so we're just going to keep shooting, but we're not going to go up too high on our bets. So keep that in mind. It is a slow grind. I know some people think, hey, let me go ahead and switch over and try to hit these with big money. Hey, that will eat you up fast, trust me. All right, here on the screen, we'll ride that frenzy all the way across, and then we'll switch over to the darkness monster now. This thing usually kind of goes off quite a bit. Kind of easy, but you know, you still don't want to load a lot of money into one particular fish. All right, we're at times 670 now. So it should be about time for this thing to go off. There are a few times I come on this game. One of the things I've noticed is whenever you log into this the first time, if that frenzy comes across and it's already times 1,000 and whatever, that is pretty much a tight table. All right, we got it to go off there. You know it's about time for it to hit at 703. So see, we're kind of staying around that, and we switched over to 10 cent. I didn't notice that, but hey guys, right here, this bonus, shoot at that first pink puffer fish that we just hit there with the bullets. And if you get that fish to go off of those bullets, that I've noticed kind of tells you that this is a loose table. If you load that up with those bullets before those small fish block your shots and it doesn't die, then you're on a tight table. So that stage right there is a stage that I've noticed that, hey, if I'm on a good table or a bad table. So keep that in mind whenever you're shooting that pink puffer fish. All right, so we're just kind of switching over here back and forth from our missiles. We're going to shoot some lasers and see if we can get anything to go. Switching back and forth on our big bosses. If you notice, I do shoot at the big bosses quite a bit. I leave a lot of the small fish alone. Most of the time when I'm shooting at the small fish, I'm just trying to see if the table is tight enough or not. All right, so switching back and forth, we just hit some of this stuff at the end. And we'll see those little fish here right down at the bottom. If you hit a couple of them and you notice while you're shooting them, they're dying. That's a good little 60 cents you can take. Right then, I just passed up on them. I didn't try to shoot any. All right, so we're at times 500 on the happy fella. And he's walking across the screen. And nothing going there. So we just shoot some missiles, see if we can get some loose stuff to hit. We shoot at that. Look at that, the mermaid at the end. If y'all notice, almost every time we've killed the mermaid, it's been that last tip on that tail. So that's going to be a $15 hit. We're going to load up a little bit here when that pays out. We only loaded up $1 there. As you see, I don't like to load up a lot. I know it's kind of annoying when you see that insufficient funds, but once again, I don't like to load all my money up on the machine just in case I decide to walk away with my profit now. We're up to $240, so we're up $140 or close in that range. Still shooting times 500, almost times 600 on the happy fella. So pretty much feel like he should be going here pretty soon. So one of the things you want to make sure of, you don't get so just tied down into just shooting at one particular thing. Now, no, I said that and I'm still shooting at the happy guy. The reason why I like to focus on him is because he's going to tell you how much you're going to make whatever you're betting. So you already know if you're shooting 5 cents, he's at times 1,000, you're going to make $50. So, all right, just cut loose on a couple of bullets here. Hopefully one of those loose ones that hit one of those octopus and make it die. And if not, then just start focusing on other stuff. All right, see, I was switching back and forth and I actually hit the octopus there. One of the reasons why I don't like to bet the octopus, this one here is turning out to be a pretty good octopus. Times 3, so 10 times 3, that's $30. That's a good hit. But normally with those, you're going to hit a times 1 really on the payout on those. And that's pretty much 9 times out of 10. It's kind of hard to get that high multiplier on those octopus. All right, going back to a happy fella, and he's almost at a times 700, which he's been going at that range. So let's see if it comes through again. All right, cut loose on a couple of bullets. Got a couple of few cents there, 20, 40 cents. And we're adding up $1 at $5. Oh, we just added $20. So 20. So we're up at 25. And look at that, he just went. So at times 707 at $5, $35. Awesome. Right? You can't be afraid to just shoot around the board and just see if you can pick up some of the smaller stuff. And if you notice, whenever you're shooting those loose missiles, you get those like random missiles that come from your gun, and they give you a little bit of points. And also that feature, which we haven't seen it, which is just a random like bonus where you can get like can't remember what it's called, but it's like a stage where you're going and you just get to shoot and see how much you can collect and how much you can multiply up. Pretty good feature. Sometimes pay quite a bit, sometimes they don't pay much. All right, so we're up to $274 in our bank. We have roughly $8 that we are shooting, that we're still shooting out. So we're gonna do some back and forth, see if we can get a couple more big bosses to go. Still at a good profit. All right, nothing on there. Happy fella, look at that crap wheel. That thing is just, it just eats you up. Just leave that thing alone. All right, loading up some small money here. I'm gonna switch back and forth, shooting those missiles, get that 10 cent, 10 cent, 10 cent. Now normally here I kind of switch on that drill. There we go. Didn't think I was gonna do it since it got so far off. All right, we did hit the drill with a loose missile, and we're gonna try to pick up everything that's on the board. You don't want to hold, once you get the drill, don't hold it for so long, because once all the fish that normally starts on that screen when you get it, they're gone. A lot of the stuff that's coming out later would not die. So go ahead and shoot the big drill instead of holding off on it. All right, so we got the monster frenzy there. Look, we were just shooting loose bullets there, and we got it to go at 500. And then back to back, we hit the dragon while the frenzy was paying off. So here, let's multiply up. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Nah, that's not what we needed. Times one, $9.75. Hey, we'll take it, but not what we were wanting, right? But it's all right. Anything is better than nothing. Still shooting at the dragon, nothing there. We're up to $301. So we're almost at a $200 profit. We're $1 away from a $200 profit. I'm gonna load up a little bit. I like to keep like even amounts. It's either got to be 5 or 10. So when I have that extra dollar, or extra $3, or extra $4, I load it up and shoot it instead of cashing it out. All right, so we're back down to $275. Just kind of switching back and forth on some of the stuff. I just shot at the crab. I can't believe I did that. Sometimes I shoot at that crab and not even know that I'm shooting at it. All right. Here, if you start shooting at that darkness there, and hopefully once it get down at the bottom of the screen it'll die, but let it go all the way through while you're shooting, and then automatically switch over to your frenzy. Sometimes you get both of them to die as they cross each other. Nothing there. This stage is kind of tight. Come on, fella. We need this guy to pop. He's starting to eat money now. Let's load up $5 and see if we can get it to go. All right, we done shot down to $250. See how fast that money started going when the tables tighten up. If you notice, I love shooting at the tables by myself. And I know you get a lot better action when there's somebody else shooting at the table. But one of the things that I hate is shooting at a table, and there we go. See how that puffer fish went on those first few bullets. So we're still at a pretty loose table. So we should get some stuff to go off on the screen. But back to what I was saying is, I hate when I'm shooting at the table with a lot of people. If I'm shooting big, it always seems like the person shooting low seems to always hit and kill something. Or if I'm shooting low and the person is at the table shooting big, they always hit something. So this way, when I'm at the table by myself, I know if something goes, I know that 100% is all my money. And I don't know if you guys are like me. I love making money. Love making money that I know is coming to me with no questions asked. All right, we're down to $250 in the bank. So we're just doing some random shooting. We're not loading up too much in our shoot barrel. Just keeping it kind of low. want to walk away with a profit here. All right, so we just loaded up $25, so we're down to $225 in the bank. Still almost about a $125 profit, a little bit less than $125 profit, which is still good. Way less than where we were. We were over $300 just a few moments ago. Oh, look at that. We hit the frenzy at the end. So he was at times 728. So we've noticed he's been going off at times 700, and that was at a $10 shot. So that took us back up to $294. So it is good to kind of move your bets around. Normally a lot of people, when they're hitting a lot like this, they probably switch up to 20, 25 cents. It's good. It's a good decision if you switch over to that much and everything is dying. But if you switch over to 20, 25 cents and your table go cold, then that $200, that $300 that you have in your bank, you're going to shoot that up so fast. You're going to be like, what was I thinking? And I've been there quite a bit. All right. Back and forth. We shot some bullets, hit a couple of things, and switched over to the fringe, and we hit that for $22 at times 400. So that took us back up. It took us up over 300. That was $320 is where we ended up. Now we just loaded a little bit in our barrel, and we're down to 315 in the bank. We're gonna cut loose some missiles here. See if we can hit those octopus. No, nothing going there. So yeah, let's leave those alone. And guys, on this game, I'm telling you, the thing is just to, if you can find these games that'll tell you that this is going to pay out at times, whatever, and you know how much you're going to make, those are the best things to shoot at, because you know exactly how much you're going to make. All right, times 400 there. We shot down to $306. And we're doing a little bit of loading, so we just loaded up to $9. We got $300 in our bank. That was a random dollar that the system just gave us. So we're gonna load that back up into our barrel. Nothing going there. Cutting loose some loose missiles. See if we can hit some stuff as they come out. Loading this dollar up pretty soon. There we go. We just loaded that. All right, guys, we're going to be cashing out here at $300. Started with $102, cashing out $300. Nice little session here. If you find this helpful, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Rose.